when you feel that you're ready to invest in a startup?
So first of all, we have to go on a couple of dates for us to be able to see whether we have that synergy. We start dating, we're getting married, and then we are actually having children.
About Armenian startups.
In my personal opinion, This is what really lacks right now in Armenia.
Hi, Dias. Thank you for joining our podcast. So let me present Dias. Dias is a venture investor, Big Sky Capital. So my first question is, how do you assess potential of Armenian startup ecosystem?
Artak, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me for this podcast. I'm really excited to be here in Yerevan, Armenia. My first time actually here, really enjoying the city. To answer your question, actually, right now we invest in 3 regions, which is United States of America, Central Asia, and Southeast Asia. These are the 3 regions we're currently investing in. However, currently I'm here to explore the ecosystem, the startup ecosystem of Armenia, and I already see a huge potential here. I truly believe that if we see and make a couple of deals here in Armenia, we'll be able to close some deals and invest in potentially amazing startups. So I truly see opportunities here. I truly see that people are coming in to Armenia to build their own startups. I feel that we can actually make something happen here.
When you want to invest in a startup, when you feel that you're ready to invest in a startup, what qualities does that startup needs to have so that you will feel that you want to make investment in that startup?
That's a very good question. Thank you for asking. So what we usually do whenever we consider investing in a certain startup, we always say it's a marriage. It's a very long-term game, right? So first of all, we have to go on a couple of dates for us to be able to see whether we have that synergy, whether we have that connection with the founder. So we always look at relationships first before actually investing, because we know that it's a long-term game, and we always ask each other and ourselves whether or not we'll be able to keep our relationships with this person, with this founder, or not for the next 5, 7, 10 years. And if we see that we have that chemistry, we have that connection, that bonding with a certain startup founder, then obviously we start, taking it to another level. We start dating, we're getting married, and then we are actually having children, which are investments, right? So first of all, I would say it's very important for us to, invest in a founder, not in a startup, because eventually, at the end of the day, we're going to be working with that person for a very long time, and it's very important for us to actually know the person, like for real.
If you invest in a founder, in a person, like what qualities you worth much than others that it will make you have trust in that founder, feel that a relationship will work for you?
Yeah.
What qualities you?
I would say, first of all, absolutely, it's like discipline.
Because
and the second one is execution. It's because we have a lot of founders coming to me like, Dias, can you assess my startup? Can you have a look? Can you study our deck, right? And I always say, guys, first you have to be able to execute on certain startups. So for example, if you have the milestones and you set the goals for yourself, if we see that you're consistently executing on your milestones, then we see that you are a very disciplined person. And no matter what happens during your journey, you'll be able to finish it. You'll be able to make it till the end. So for us, it's very important that the founder is very disciplined and is very consistent on his journey to success.
As I know, your one of the main focuses is SaaS.
Yes.
So right now, what makes SaaS projects competitive in global world?
Maybe I will be very repetitive, but again, answering your previous question, also this question, I think that founders who are building SaaS platforms, they have to be, very consistent. It's because in the B2B SaaS industry, it's very important to actually build the relationships with certain, with your clients. So for instance, right, if you're building a fintech B2B SaaS platform, you have to be able to, visit a lot of conferences, build your relationships with, for example, CEOs of banks, CEOs of, for example, government, right, government people who will be able to, make that next intro for your startup to grow. So I truly believe that nowadays it's very important for B2B SaaS founders to actually build the relationships and invest in relationships. That's what I always say. That's what I always recommend, because the majority of SaaS founders and majority of normal founders, they're always extracting, they're always taking, and they don't really know how to give. So we always say that you have to be able to give first, provide more value, and then like after a certain period of time, then you will be able to ask something in return. But it has to be, it has to be a long-term game. I truly believe that by building, high quality relationships with the big founders and CEOs of huge corporations, will make your SaaS product very successful in the future.
About Armenian startups, what, in your opinion, Armenian startup founders or startups in general lack most? Is it capital, or maybe it's expertise, or maybe market access? And in that sense, how you can help to Armenian startups in this regard?
Mm-hmm. That's a very good question, because I've been pondering about that. I've been thinking about this question, how we can actually grow the startup ecosystem in Armenia so that founders, they have the inspiration, they have the motivation to grow their startups. I truly believe that, for example, I'm going to give you an example, like how we see it and we do it in Kazakhstan. So there is a huge bank that's called Freedom Bank in Kazakhstan. It's like they have the biggest ecosystem that they are building currently.
Is it related to Freedom Broker? We have also in our...
Yes. So basically they have their huge ecosystem, and they're always buying potentially good startups, and they're integrating it into their own ecosystems. And that actually motivates a lot of founders to build something in B2B SaaS, so that in the future, that Freedom Bank will be able to buy them. And we have a lot of hundreds of startup founders who are actually building something so that they can sell it to big ecosystem players like Freedom or Kaspi Bank in Kazakhstan. So I truly believe if big companies and big startups, big banks, right, in Armenia, they start building their own ecosystems within the country, I truly believe that this will be a huge motivation for startup founders to build their startups in the future. So I think that government and big corporations in Armenia, they have to give the opportunities, and they have to invest. I mean, not only invest financially, but also invest in terms of giving their attention, give their expertise, right, their knowledge to startup founders for them to be able to get inspired and build something truly valuable. I think, in my personal opinion, this is what really lacks right now in Armenia. I believe that if banks and big corporations they'll be more open to supporting startup founders, then the ecosystem will grow dramatically, like we see in Central Asian countries like Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, and other countries.
And the last question: what would you advise to our startup founders, or maybe you can advise to also policymakers, or your advice to make Armenian ecosystem? Though you have already mentioned a good point, just if you have extra points that you would like to advise, so based on your experience, your immersive experience you have.
Yeah, so as I already mentioned, I think I was already giving a lot of advice in terms of investing in relationships. I think that's very important, especially if you're building a startup. You cannot make your startup successful without investing in relationships and without building your network. So I truly believe that startup founders nowadays, they have to be very open. Even if they are introverted by nature, they have to try and do their best to be at least a little bit of extroverted person, right? Because at the end of the day, building a company, building a startup, it's about relationships. It's about talking to people. It's about growing to different markets. It's about selling. It's about being public, right? So I think that if founders they try to change their perception of approaching a certain startup in terms of building relationships, I think this will already it will already make a huge difference for their future. So I truly believe that being open, being a little bit more extroverted, and building relationships, investing into relationships is ultimately, in my personal opinion, the only thing that will actually help your startup grow in generally in Central Asia, whatever, in Armenia, in the US. So
thank you. That's a very interesting insight. It resonates with me because I'm always also promoting building relationship, doing networking, etc. So thank you very much for your time. It's for your insights. I hope you will enjoy Armenia, Yerevan, during your stay here.
Thank you so much, Artak, for inviting me. It was a really pleasure, and I'm sure that I will be able to give more insights if you follow my, LinkedIn or Instagram pages, I'm always consistently, publishing a lot of great articles about how to build a startup, how to be more persistent, how to scale, right? And a lot of questions I'm covering. I truly believe that my page will be helpful to potential startup founders who are building their next unicorns.
Thank you.
Thank you.